everyone, in this video we will cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series in GK Today's Academy Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in Academy Android application. So in this app course you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document and also category wise revision ebooks which are optimized for reading on your mobile itself. Apart from it, you are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. Please check our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Okay, so now without wasting any further time, let's get started.
Good morning everyone, welcome back to GK Today, and today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 2nd of November 2021. Starting with very first question, as per the recent RBI rules, what is the maximum IPO funding per borrower by NBFCs? So the Reserve Bank of India has issued a new set of rules for non-banking financial companies, and it includes limiting the lending to IPO investors to 1 crore rupees per borrower from 1st of April 2022. Actually, at present, some high net worth individuals have been borrowing in excess of 100 crore rupees from NBFCs for investing in initial public offers. And these curbs are a part of RBI's scale-based regulations which aim to mitigate systematic risk. Now, apart from it, in the previous lectures, we have seen that RBI has proposed minimum 11.5% capital for the 4 All India Financial Institutions, that is AIFIs, and the minimum total capital is proposed at 9% along with minimum capital buffer at 2.5%. So this proposal has been made in line with Basel III framework to raise their financial strength in periods of stress. So now these new capital norms would be applicable to Exim Bank, NABARD, National Housing Bank and SIDBI from next fiscal year. Also last month, Bank of Baroda has stopped digital scorecard for 2020 to 21 with a total of 86% marks on it. Also, as per the recent data, external debt to GDP ratio is currently 21.1%. Also, RBI has recently removed Indian Overseas Bank from its PCA framework, and this bank was placed in the PCA framework in the year 2015, but now the bank does not meet the criteria of PCA, hence RBI has removed it from this PCA framework. Also, few days back, RBI had released its deposits with scheduled commercial banks March 2021 data, and as per this, bank deposits have increased by 11.9% during 2020 to 21 as compared to 8.8% last year, that is 2019 to 2020. And the deposits have increased in light of high growth in current accounts, saving accounts deposits. Now can you tell me, recently RBI has imposed a penalty of 1 crore rupees on which particular organization for not submitting the correct and factual information? Please write your answers in the comment section. Question number 2. Which country has recently given in principle support for net zero by 2050? So Australia has recently given in principle to a target of zero net carbon emissions by the year 2050, and this target has been announced by Prime Minister Scott Morrison when he leaves for a United Nations summit in Glasgow, Scotland. Actually, it has not moved from its 2015 pledge at Paris Climate Summit to reduce the emissions by 26% to 28% below 2005 levels by 2030. Now, apart from it, ASKAP radio telescope, which was seen in the news recently, is located in Australia. And what does this term stands for? It is Australia Square Kilometre Array Pathfinder. Now apart from it, central banks in Australia, Singapore, Malaysia and South Africa have launched a CBDC scheme, that is Central Bank Digital Currency Scheme, and it is actually a cross-border payments trial that uses different central bank digital currencies in order to assess if this allows transfer to be settled in a cheap and easy manner. Then, City of Brisbane in Australia will be the host of 2032 Olympics and Paralympics, for which it has received the approval from the Executive Board of International Olympic Committee. Also do remember that now Brisbane becomes the third Australian city to host the games after Sydney in the year 2000 and Melbourne in the year 1956. Question number 3. Which neighbouring country of India has passed a new law to strengthen land border protection? So recently China has passed a new law to strengthen the land border protection amid the ongoing military tension along the disputed boundary with India. And this legislation now formalizes combining the military defense of China's land borders along with improving social and economic development in the Indo-China border areas. So now it will also strengthen the People's Liberation Army policy to work closely with civilians who are staying in border areas, including the Tibetan villagers. Now apart from it, China is set to vaccinate its children from ages 3 to 11, and 76% of the population has been fully vaccinated in China till now. Also, local city and provincial level governments issued notices announcing the vaccination of children, and China had approved 2 vaccines, Sinopharm and Sinovac, for the children vaccination. Now apart from it, 43 countries have called on China at the United Nations to ensure the rights and respect of Muslim Uyghur community in Xinjiang. Then apart from it, China has recently launched a rocket named as Shijian-21 atop of Long March 3B rocket from Xichang Satellite Launch Center. Also few days back, China has passed a new education law to reduce the students' homework and off-school tuitions. Why? To strike a balance between academics, rest and physical education. Question number 4. Which Indian actor has been conferred with 51st Dada Saheb Phalke Award recently? So Kollywood superstar Mr. Rajnikant was conferred with this particular award for his outstanding contribution to the Indian cinema. And the award was presented by our Vice President Mr. Venkaiah Naidu at the 67th National Film Award ceremony that was recently held in New Delhi. Actually, the Dada Saheb Phalke Award is considered to be India's highest film award, and it was instituted by the Indian government in the year 1969. Now apart from it, in the same event, the Best Feature Film Award was given to Priyadarshan's Malayalam periodic epic named as Marakkar, Lion of the Arabian Sea. And the Bollywood actor Kangana Ranaut won the Best Actress Award for her performance in Manikarnika and Panga, while the Best Actor award went to Manoj Bajpayee for his movies. Now, a few days back, we have seen that Tamil movie Kuzangal, directed by the filmmaker Vinod Raj PS, has been selected as India's official entry for 94th Academy Awards. Then, 2 entrepreneurs from Sri Guru Plastic and Inside Out Guwahati have been chosen as winners Zero Waste Cities Challenge, and it was launched by Waste Aid, which works to find entrepreneurs with innovative business ideas that can help in reducing or recycling the waste and create green employment. Okay. Question number 5. Which country has launched a national infrastructure fund with BlackRock? So Saudi Arabia has launched a national infrastructure fund to support up to 200 billion riyals, or you can say $53 billion in projects over the next decade. So it will be advised by the world's largest fund manager, BlackRock, and the National Infrastructure Fund will invest in sectors such as water, transportation, energy, and health. Also, Saudi Arabia is preparing to transform the economy to make it less reliant on oil revenue. Now, apart from it, Saudi Arabia has recently announced that it aims to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions by the year 2060. Because it is the 10th largest emitter of carbon dioxide globally. Also, it is the largest emitter on a per capita basis among the G20 countries. Now also it has announced its plans to massive new theme park, or you can say extreme park, named as the Rig. And earlier the country has also announced that they are developing a new city with the world's fastest roller coaster in the year 2023. Then apart from it, UAE has announced to send a probe to land on an asteroid between Mars and Jupiter to collect data on the origins of universe. Fine. Question number 6. As per the World Food Programme's recent announcement, which country is marching to starvation? So the World Food Programme Executive Director David Beasley has said that 22.8 million people, which is more than half of Afghanistan 39 million population, were facing acute food insecurity and marching to starvation. So correct answer is option number B. Actually 2 months ago, it was announced that 14 million were in the edge of food crisis, and the UN official also announced that millions of Afghans, including children, could die of starvation unless urgent action is taken. Also, he urged to free the frozen funds to be used for humanitarian efforts. Now, apart from it, recently United Nations has set up a special trust fund for Afghanistan due to its economic crisis. And the primary aim of this trust fund is to inject liquidity into Afghan households. So basically, as per UNDP, that is United Nations Development Programme, Germany had pledged 50 million euros into the fund. Then apart from it, FATF, that is Financial Action Task Force, has added 3 new countries into its grey list. And these countries are Turkey, Jordan, and Mali. And talking about Turkey, recently the President Tayyip Erdogan has ordered his foreign ministry to declare 10 ambassadors from Western countries persona non grata. What is this? Actually, it can remove diplomatic status and results in withdrawal of recognition of envoys. Fine. Now can you tell me recently who has won the Turkish Grand Prix? Please write in the comments. Question number 7. India recently celebrated the Innovation Day along with which country? So on 26th of October 2021, India and Sweden celebrated the 8th Innovation Day. And this online event was themed on accelerating India-Sweden green transition. And the event was hosted by India Unlimited in association with the Embassy of India in Sweden, SIBC, that is Sweden India Business Council, CII, that is Confederation of Indian Industry, and Startup India. So basically various aspects of climate change and the possible solutions to bring green transition were discussed. Now apart from it, the Vigilance Awareness Week is observed every year, led by the Central Vigilance Commission, and it is an awareness week campaign observed across various parts of the country. So this year it started from 26th of October to 1st of November, and theme for this year is Independent India at 75, Self-Reliance with Integrity. Now apart from it, United Nations celebrates World Development Information Day on 24th of October, And the theme for this year is Action for Sustainable Development Goal. Then we celebrate World Polio Day on 24th of October again to raise awareness for polio vaccination and to eradicate polio completely. And the theme for this year is Delivering on a Promise. And now you have to tell me, when do we observe World Post Day and what was the theme for this year? Please write in the comments. Question number 8. Which city plays host to the 16th G20 summit scheduled in October 2021? So Italy has been holding the presidency of G20 since December last year, and the 16th G20 summit was scheduled and was held in Rome from 30 to 31st of October. Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi participated in the 16th G20 summit in Rome at the invitation of Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi. And later, Prime Minister would also attend the World Leaders Summit of COP26 at Glasgow, Scotland. Now apart from it, Nagpur played host to the first ever National Inter-Religious Conference that was organized by Lokmat Media Group. And theme of this conference was Global Challenges to Communal Harmony and Role of India. Then Global Media and Information Literacy Week is observed annually in the month of October to empower people with right information and to mitigate the challenges of misinformation. And the theme for this year was Media and Information Literacy for the Public Good. And host for this event was South Africa. Question number 9. Which Indian city is set to host the National Tribal Dance Festival 2021? So this festival was inaugurated on 28th of October as per the Chhattisgarh Tourism Board. And this tribal dance festival in Raipur will invite the Indian tribal artists along with those belonging to the tribal communities from the countries including Uzbekistan, Nigeria, Sri Lanka, Uganda, Syria, Mali, etc. to come and participate in this event. And the first ever edition of the National Tribal Dance Festival was held in the year 2019. Now apart from it, a National Steering Committee has been recently formed for the implementation of National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy, that is Nipun Bharat Mission. So it will be chaired by our Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, and Minister of State for Education Annapurna Devi would be the Vice Chairperson. So the Department of School Education and Literacy had launched the mission in July 2021 to achieve the goal of universal proficiency in foundational literacy and numeracy for every child by end of class 3 by the year 2026 to 27. And talking about Chhattisgarh, it is famous for its scheme named as Rajiv Gandhi Gramin Bhumihin Majdoor Nyay Yojana. And under this program, 6,000 rupees will be provided to each of 12 lakh landless laborers to benefit them along with their families. And now coming to last question, which Union Ministry has launched the Mahatma Gandhi National Fellowship? So the Union Ministry for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship has launched phase 2 of this particular national fellowship, and it is a 2-year-long fellowship that aims to create opportunities for youth to contribute to enhance skill development at grassroots. And talking about its phase 1, it was launched with IIM Bangalore as the academic partner, while for this phase 8 more IIMs have been onboarded. Then apart from it, Union Culture Minister G. Kishan Reddy has recently launched a podcast series on the freedom struggle as a part of Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav celebrations. And the series titled as Zara Yaad Karo Kurbani would focus on the people and movements that contributed to the freedom struggle. Also, Climate Vulnerability Index has been released by the Council on Energy, Environment and Water recently, and as per the report, over 80% Indians live in districts are vulnerable to climate risk. Also, it states that Assam, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Bihar are the states which are most vulnerable to the extreme climate events such as floods, drought, and cyclones in India. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions. And at the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.